Happy Friday. Brian Manning here with a weekly update. Let's see, two things before we get started. I know it's really going to be observed tomorrow, but I do want to say happy Veterans Day, and I want to say thank you for everyone that served our country, the sacrifices that were made, the time away from your family. We live in the greatest country ever, and safety and security we have here, just can't thank enough our military and the people that served our country. So I just want to say thank you and happy Veterans Day. Second thing, Fall Fiesta tomorrow, sold out, baby. Super excited. It's going to be fun. If you want to get on our wait list, go on our website. There's directions on there to how to get on our wait list. But we're super excited for Fall Fiesta tomorrow. Doors open at 6. Music starts at 7. It's going to be amazing. Let's talk about updates this week and what's going on. So Monday, relatively quiet news day. Not a lot to talk about there. Tuesday, we got some housing info. So CoreLogic, this is for the month of September. So the home appreciation across the country rose by 0.3%. We also got Black Knight. This is for the month of September as well. I said home appreciation across the country rose at 0.4%. We're kind of seeing general consensus across the board between Zillow, Case-Shiller, CoreLogic, Black Knight, and we've just seen fairly consistent appreciation all year long. It's really great to see. If you watch the media, you pay attention to what they have said in the past and what they've been saying. The housing market is going to collapse, and here we are, still getting steady appreciation, just kind of chugging along. So really good to see. Also this week, we had oil move lower. We look at what's called WTI. That's West Texas Intermediary. This is at $90 a few weeks ago, and it's down in the 70s right now. So good to see oil prices moving down. Any of us that go to the pump to fill up our car, you're seeing lower oil prices there. You know, I just drove by a place in Denver yesterday. It was $2.19 a gallon for regular. So you're definitely seeing oil prices come down. Wednesday this week, we had Jerome Powell speaking. You know, this guy just blows me away. Jerome Powell said, the Federal Reserve is someplace you can work for 10 years, a decade, and still feel like a newbie. I mean, this just blows me away. You know, he controls the strongest thing in the world, which is the US dollar. And we have someone in this position that says they've been in their job for 10 years and they still feel like a newbie. I just don't know that. I don't know that's what we want. I mean, it blows me away that that's the comment that's being made. So, you know, they always go through these boom and bust cycles. I'm not surprised to see where we're at right now. Again, going through a boom and bust cycle. It just blows me away that that's the comments that comes out of the president of the Federal Reserve is what it is. Thursday this week, we got initial jobless claims. Jobless claims have really been focused on. What we're trying to see is our jobless claims increasing because we're just worried about the labor market, and the Federal Reserve is waiting to see what's going to happen in the labor market to continue their decision-making process going down the road of whether they hike rates or pause. So we saw 217,000 initial jobless claims. So that's kind of in line with what we've been seeing. But continuing claims have bumped up 22,000. And the reason why we watch that is because that's people that go on unemployment and they continue to file unemployment claims, which means that they're unable to find a new job. So it looks like we are seeing some softening in the labor market. We're seeing some softening in hiring. We looked at our reports last week. We saw some softening in hourly wages. We saw some softening in hours worked. You know, it's good to not see a collapse in the labor market, but we're definitely seeing some softening. Then we also kind of got this triple whammy on Thursday. So the first thing we had was Michelle Bowman of the Federal Reserve. Now, she's not an economist, she's a lawyer, and she was talking about the Federal Reserve's point of view on rate hikes, and it just didn't make sense to me. The first thing she said was that energy prices have gone higher, so we have to combat that with interest rates. Well, first of all, I just said a minute ago, WTI, barrels of oil went from $90 into the 70s. Okay, second of all, whatever the Federal Reserve does with rate hikes do not impact energy prices. So if gas prices are going up, you can make your interest rates 22%. It doesn't mean that when you go to the pump to fill up your car, that your 22% interest rate has any impact on energy prices. So I don't understand the disconnect there because you can't control energy prices with Federal Reserve interest rates. She also said the housing market has fully recovered. Not sure what she's seeing that. You know, we're looking at purchase applications are lower. People are holding off from buying homes. I'm not saying the housing market is bad, but I wouldn't say it's recovered and better than it was 2 years ago. And then she also said hourly earnings are up. Did she not look at the employment report that came out last week that specifically talked about hourly earnings being down? I just don't really understand the disconnect. Okay, so that was number one, the triple whammy. Number two, we had a really weak 30-year bond auction. That's really important. I'm sorry, not 30-year bond, 10-year bond auction. That's really important because a lot of investors from around the world purchase these. And when the bond auctions go well, mortgage rates move lower. But even though it was a poor auction, potentially, and no one actually knows for sure, one of the problems is China's one of the biggest buyers of US securities, and their system got hacked that they would use to purchase these bonds. So they had zero activity in the purchase of the bonds. So I'm not really sure exactly what happened there, but that was the second one. And then the third one, we had Jerome Powell speaking. So it's interesting to watch Jay Powell speak. You know, a week ago at the Federal Reserve, he was definitely more neutral. And then he flipped, and now he's just more hawkish. It's almost like he's playing the market. You know, my personal opinion is the Federal Reserve knows if they come out right now and they say that they've paused on interest rates and they're not going to hike rates anymore, that markets are going to rally, bond markets are going to rally, mortgage rates are going to move lower, and it's going to spur purchasing. Well, the Federal Reserve is not supposed to act that way. The Federal Reserve is supposed to make decisions on their monetary policy based on the data that they got, and then the markets react on their own. They're supposed to be very independent of each other. It almost seems like Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve right now, they're just playing the market. Like they came out last week and they were more neutral, and you could see markets rallied and mortgage rates improved a little bit. And like they got a little nervous, like, hey, we don't want to see too much action, you know, and positive movement in the market. Let's go back now to being a little bit more hawkish because we need to calm down the rally that's happening right now. It blows me away to see the way they're acting. It's almost like they're just failing in their job right now. I'm not here to sound pessimistic, but it's not making full sense to me. Anyway, Friday, relatively quiet news day. Not a lot to talk about there. I'm around all weekend, even though Fall Fiesta is tomorrow. It's not till tomorrow night. If you have someone that wants to get pre-approved, if you're a buyer, you want to run some numbers, give me a call. We're still available. Try me. I bet I answer my phone. I'm available. Happy Friday. Have a great day.